Hi everyone, it's Patricia from Pati Cake, and I am here to give you a little life update. I have been kind of MIA for the past few months while I have been very busy working at my internship, and it has been quite a emotional roller coaster. I started, if you saw my previous video, I started kind of on a rocky foot. I really wasn't sure if it was something that I wanted to do. It was really difficult because the French was just, it was really overwhelming. And I thought I had a good enough level of French to be able to work. Quickly realized that that was not the case at all. But yeah, that's like a basic sum up. If you want to watch that video and see how sad I was, you can do that. I will link it down below. But it has been, I think, 4 months so far. It's been 4 months so far, and a lot has happened. I am so much more confident in the kitchen. I feel like I finally fit in. And it's not just because I'm like getting used to my work environment, it's because my French is getting so much better. And it's so cool because, I mean, there's only so much you can study in a classroom that will prepare you for working in a French environment. You really get to understand how people talk. I mean, it's just like English. We have, we shorten words and we have different sayings and meanings for everything. I'm also learning a lot of colorful language in the kitchen, in French, which I try to avoid. But it's just like English, it's part of the language, and they don't even think about it when I say it, but it's really funny. I'm getting to know my team more. And we had, I think, 2 months after I started, had hired another sous chef, so he's really nice, and he's really helpful, and he speaks a little bit of English too, so it's really great sometimes when I have absolutely no idea, and he will explain stuff for me in his English, which I think is endearing, which I hope they think my French is. I mean, we always joke about how great their English is and how great my French is, so it's kind of funny. Anyway, so internship, I have been working, and it's been really great. As far as the terms of work that I do, it's a kitchen, and we do production, so it's basically the same thing every day, but because it's a hotel, it's a little bit different every day. So we get changes in menus, the head chef is always changing up the tea time desserts, and it's really nice because you have some sort of stability, but there's always something different that's going on. There's always some sort of improvement, always trying to make things better, and it's a really nice environment to work in once you get in there. Now, when I first got there, I did not like it at all because everything was changing all the time. And I just was like, how am I supposed to learn if everything is always changing? But no, once you get into the rhythm, it's great. And it's cool because just recently, like I said, I'm starting to fit into the team more. I can speak a little bit more French, so I start to ask, more questions and all this good stuff that I really want to learn about, but I just didn't have the vocabulary to ask. I felt when I started, I had the vocabulary, this speaking capability of a 3-year-old, where I was just like, yes, no, I don't understand, I want this, very broken, very broken. And now I feel almost naturally, just from learning words, I listened a lot to how they were speaking and what they were saying, and it's funny because my grandmother actually, she learned Spanish on her own just by living in a Spanish-speaking country. And that always fascinated me as a little kid because I was like, how do you just learn a language Like you don't have like a translator or anything. How does that even happen? Like, how are you supposed to understand the meaning of a word without having the translation to your own language? And now I totally freaking get it, because it's almost like you use your environmental clues and like the intonation and like, God, language is so cool. It's really, it's a complicated but simple thing, you know? Basically, I just listen all the time and listen for repetitive words in situations and when they come up. And then just kind of assume that words mean some things. Sometimes that gets me into a little bit of trouble. Like I earlier talked about the colorful language thing. I just don't know. Like I don't know these words. So I'll ask, hey, I'll ask one of the other, you know, workers, and I'm like, hey, can you tell me what this word means? And they're like, well, and so they'll explain it to me, and I'm like, oh, well, that was awkward. But it's kind of, that's what happens, right? But it's cool. It's a really, really cool thing to be able to just like use, it's like almost like you're a little like investigator, and you're like picking up little clues and figuring out stuff. So it's really, really cool that I'm learning all these words, and it's a really amazing feeling. So yeah, so that's cool. But getting back to the beginning of this rant, so it's nice because I'm fitting in more. I'm starting to be able to ask questions, and they ask for my input on things, and it's really great. They found out that I decorated cakes back home, and so now I get to write on all of the plates like that get sent for like complimentary birthdays and anniversaries and stuff. And you know, they asked for my input on like American style desserts. Just this past week we had a Thanksgiving brunch for God knows what reason. There's not that many Americans that come to our hotel, but hey, my hotel is owned by an American company, so we have to do what they say. And it was so cool because the cuisine chef and my sous chef were like talking like, oh, what are we gonna do for like, you know, the desserts, and they were tossing back forth ideas, and I'm just there like cutting some fruit or something, and and then my sous chef asked me if we eat marshmallows on Thanksgiving, and I said, oh no, not really. And he was like, well, what do you guys eat on Thanksgiving? And I was like, pies, everything is about pies on Thanksgiving. And then the cuisine chef turned around and he was like, of course, you have a freaking American here, why didn't we just ask her? And it was like, I know it's like, it's such a small thing, and it sounds so stupid, but it's so nice to be appreciated and like finally like be in a position where like I'm not just an intern, you know, like I have some sort of knowledge in me that's useful to the team, and like my ideas are respected, you know, because I think the problem that's very stereotypical in kitchens, especially in France, because it's really, really difficult, and there's this huge hierarchy where it's like you start at the bottom, you don't know anything, and that's hard to like cope with, and it really kind of destroys you mentally if you don't have the like willpower, because especially if you're working under a really, really tough chef and you make mistakes, and you know, they get really upset and they're like, whoa, like you don't know like what you're doing and all this stuff. Thank God my chef isn't like that. He is so great. And you know, but there are people that work under chefs like that, and it's so hard to not feel like you don't know anything, but you do. It's just you're new, and they have, I don't know, a million years of experience more than you do, and those are things that come up. But when you feel like you're contributing to a team, and like, I don't know, it's just such a good feeling. And so they were like, I was helping them like come up with dessert ideas, and it was so fun. And they were like, you know, I was their reference point because they don't really know that too much about Americans and American holidays and stuff. And it was really cool because, I mean, obviously I'm here for the holidays, and everyone loves the holidays in general. Like, it's a great time to be together with your friends and family, and this is my first time spending it not with my family, and so it's kind of nice that I was able to like share the like joy and festivities of Thanksgiving, and you know, kind of like teach people about it. And it was really like so wholesome and nice. And we ended up doing like sweet potato pie, and I made butternut cake, and it was just like, I felt so like in the zone, and I'm like so thankful that I work with a team of people that were just amazing enough for me to like, to give me that like opportunity to express myself like in desserts, because it's, I mean, it was great. It was so great. But yeah, so work is great. There's a lot of crazy stories I have, and you know, I really wanted to like get into, you know, what I'm actually doing and like focus on my work. And I have been wanting to film videos and, you know, talk about things, but I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if people want to hear this, but you know, it's just, I hope that you enjoy these videos, and if you do, please let me know. I love sharing my story with you. I hope that if you're watching this and you want to one day study in France, or if you're watching it just to be a part of my journey, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means so much to me that I have so many supporters in general that are really like, it just means a lot to know that I have a lot of really big supportive community, and not a lot of people have that, so I feel really, really lucky. If you have any questions about anything I'm doing, I would love to answer them. I have a lot of crazy stories from work. I think maybe I'll make a video about some of the crazy stuff that happened, especially with like the language communication error, because that's really funny. And I think that'll like, it's a part of the experience, right? So yeah, yeah, let me know if you want to see more videos like this. If you have any questions about what I'm doing like more specifically in my internship, or anything like that, feel free to reach out. I would love to answer your questions, and hope that everything is going good with you guys. Happy holidays, because the holidays are coming up, and it's truly the most wonderful time of the year, because parties, parties, parties. So yeah, have a wonderful day, and thanks for watching. Bye!